Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Scaling Brokerage Podcast. Today, Rick has been kind enough to bless us with some of his time here today. So he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, and his story, how he gets started in real estate, and how he's now a brokerage owner. So I'll kick it off to you, Rick, and let you tell the people a little bit about yourself.
All right, awesome. Well, first off, thanks, Jake, for having me. I appreciate it. Like Jake said, my name is Rick Brown. I am the team owner of Brown Home Group. Behind me, you'll see my force behind me. We are a team of about 16 agents. I have three actually now, admins. And then Maria, who is right there next to me, is actually my executive assistant. So how I got started in real estate, Jake, is kind of a funny story, but I'll try to keep it short. If anybody likes Millionaire Listings, that's how I got started. I was watching it with my now wife, and I saw the checks coming up on the bottom of the screen, and I was like, you know what, man, that's pretty cool. And my wife said, you know what, you can do that. And I'm like, really? So I met with a top mega agent in Central Florida, and pretty much got my license. Probably 2015. I got my license, not probably, but I did. So been in real estate going on about 10 years. This year actually will be 10 years. And started off as a single agent. And about 4 months in, I was pretty much looking at maybe 4 or 5 deals at that time. And my biggest focus was open houses. So another mega agent saw that I was being pretty successful. And as they say, the rest is history. I joined his team. I was with his team for about 3 years. Started off as one of his agents, and then eventually became his lead buyer agent. And then ultimately realized that, when you have a team, there's got to be value. And even though his mentorship was amazing and everything that he offered me was incredible, and he's still a mentor to this day, it just got to the point where the lid closed, right? As a entrepreneur myself, prior to getting into real estate, being in top of my game in my other industry, which was logistics, I knew how to run companies. I knew how to manage, but I didn't know anything about real estate. So my mentor ultimately gave me that ability to kind of springboard my career. 2018, I started a team with my daughter and myself. She was my admin, and we brought on 1 buyer agent. And ultimately, first year did maybe 20 million. And then started bringing on another agent, and so on and so forth. And as you can see today, we're sitting about 16 agents. We have 3 market centers. So we're in Orlando, Claremont, and ultimately we just expanded into the Daytona market, so the beaches.
Nice.
Yeah. So my wife is also on that side, is also a real estate agent, but she's more of a silent partner. So she does the books. So
That's awesome.
as I like to joke, she's my CFO who tells me what I can and can't spend.
Right. That's a good person in that role.
but what it's worth, she is my partner in crime, and I couldn't be as successful unless unless I had her 110% support. So I thank her every day for allowing me to do what I love. Which people ask you, so what do you do when you're not selling real estate? I sell real estate.
Yeah. 24/7, right?
I am. It's my hobby. I love it. So, I don't really have a hobby. I don't play golf. I don't fish. I don't have a boat. That's what I do. So, so I feel like surrounding yourself with like-minded people, when you have a team. I know that you mentioned as a brokerage owner, and I don't want to overstep, but I'm not a broker. I'm in my 50s. and I just don't feel like getting my broker's license right now is in my cards. It just, to me, I work for Keller Williams, as you can see above me.
Yeah.
And they're an incredible brokerage that have given me the ability to do pretty much like a brokerage, without having all the liabilities that go with it, right? So I run my team the way I want to run my team, and then I have an incredible broker, Murray Coleman, here in Orlando, that is pretty much at my beck and call when I need it. So to say I'm a broker would be, speaking out of turn. But I feel like I pretty much make most of the decisions.
Gotcha. I understand. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just wanted to, and my apologies, I didn't mean to miscommunicate, misdrew there. But take us back a little bit, and when you're making that transition initially, kind of I apologize, I forgot my pen. But you mentioned you were in a different field before. What was that again?
So I was a logistics, so in international transportation, so import export.
Okay.
I would travel probably, I think at one time I was traveling like 280 days a year. I could probably tell you more countries I haven't been to than I have.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. At least I say, job to see the world is always at least one of
somebody at the time, right? But theoretically, I never really saw the world, right? Because I was out 10 days someplace, and jumping from one business to another. So we would do container loads, large air freight loads, and I had accounts like Disney, and I was in China, right? Because they have a major distribution, or other accounts all over Europe. And primarily I focused on trade lane between Europe and the US.
Oh man.
So I did that for about 20 plus years.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask. What was kind of that transition like? Because I know a lot of our listeners are, on the agent side as well, where they're kind of just taking that first step into the real estate space. And now being, one of the harder markets that agents have had to work in, and maybe the past, at least 5 to 10 years, I would say. So the newer agents coming in now can have a little bit of a harder, kind of first step, to get their feet settled, get set in the marketplace. So what was that like for you? Going from being logistics for 20 plus years to taking that dive into real estate.
Yeah. So I would say that this is probably bad, but I would just say join a team. As a single agent, you're on an island. When you're on a team, you're in a village. Yeah. So if you need to borrow sugar, I'm going to loan you sugar, right? But if you're on an island, you're pretty much on your own. And for me, it allowed me to use my skills, my sales skills. And, there are different types of industries where you come over to real estate and you're going to do really well, right? And some people would say, well, what is that? We see bartenders do really well.
Yeah,
right.
Talk absolutely.
Servers do really well in real estate. Why is that? Because yes, they can talk. They have a personality.
Yeah.
You really have to be a people person in our business.
Absolutely.
Now, how can I do that if I don't know anything about real estate? Well, that's why I believe it's in your best interest to jump on a team. Do I expect every one of these guys behind me to be with me forever? No. Some of them actually have left my team and then come back. Yeah. They tried to go on their own, and not to say that they couldn't do it, but it was, ownership is not something for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
But I do believe that if you're a new agent out there, you're trying to think about, do I want to get into real estate? I would say have a conversation with a team, because there is a lot that can be offered, right? But culture is the biggest thing. I like to say that we're a family. This is an outside family that, not only about real estate, but when you hurt, we hurt. And obviously we celebrate, and we also celebrate success as well as failure, right? You don't want to celebrate it, but you want to figure out, what are we doing wrong? What can we do better as a team? And for myself as an owner, I feel like being a single agent, could you do it? Yes. A lot of agents say, well, I'm going to try it on my own. But how far are you going to get? It really just comes down to your background and experience. But the biggest, I guess, flaw is that we just don't have enough knowledge of real estate. So you have to surround yourself. It does start with joining a right brokerage. And I'm not going to, toot my horn when it comes to Keller Williams there are a lot of amazing brokerages out there. But I do feel like, well, statistically, Keller Williams has the #1 training of all, not just brokerages or real estate, but in all industries. So if you want the training and you don't want to be on a team, I still would highly suggest joining Keller Williams. But I've been with Keller Williams 10 years. I started 10 years ago. I've never left.
Gotcha.
So they say I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. All right.
Well, and I have a lot of different entities on the podcast, like Century 21. I'm drawing blanks on all the big ones right now.
EXP.
Yeah, EXP, LPT, all those guys.
Yeah, sure, LPT's great. I mean, and again, you just have to find your fit.
Exactly. I was saying it's really what suits you best and kind of what's going to work best with what, whatever you're doing, as far as if you're, looking more to produce, looking more to scale your team,
Right.
different avenues are going to suit us better there. But no, that's awesome. On the market, do you do anything to market the team? Like when it was just kind of, you mentioned you and your daughter were kind of the first main two. Did you guys do anything to, try to help get the word out, try to get more, more agents on the team there?
Yeah. So obviously as a new agent, or as a new team, I came in 3 years, right after being on a team. I had to get my own brand. I had to build my own identity. Brown Home Group. If I could go back and do it again, Jake, I'd probably change the name from Brown to Excellent Home Group or something, right? So it didn't have my name in it. Can't go backwards. 10 years in the making. We do have a pretty strong foothold in the market. We're in the top 1%. So changing the name now would probably derail us.
Absolutely.
But I do feel that the one thing I pride myself on is everybody on my team has their own identity. Yes, they carry the brand. They know that it's Brown Home Group, but it's Blaine Weicker at Brown Home Group. It's David Hickey at Brown Home Group. They are the face of Brown Home Group for their business. So if you ever look at my website, if you ever look at any of my marketing material, my face isn't on it. The logo is, right? Because that's what I'm pushing. The B with the key, right? That's kind of how we promote. But your face as an agent on my team are going to get the highlight, the limelight, and the marketing. So they each have their own websites. They each have their own name writers. They pretty much, if they list, they're going to get the opportunity to market for themselves, and we're going to market for them. Now, I'm still in production. So yes, I still have my face on my own stuff, but ultimately, when you join a team, the one thing that, a lot of people say is you lose your identity, right? And it's true, you can, but there are things that I loved about the team I was on, and there are things that I didn't take with me. One of them was my identity. I want to make sure that when you join my team, you still feel part of, you have a business that's your own that you can be proud of. You're just carrying it as if you're part of a company, right? We do have that company feel. Obviously, I have a look, as you can see. UCF, go Knights. University of Central Florida, however you want to look at it, black and gold. That was kind of my makeup of this, but primarily black and gold is class, and we're luxury. So, but nobody, I don't know of anybody else that does this that has somewhat of a team brand. So we really try to step it up. And if you join a team, just make sure that you can keep that, right? I think it's important that you keep your identity, but ultimately, getting into the business, for me, I had 25 years of sales. I just didn't know how to sell real estate.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was kind of the learning curve there. I was getting more real estate focused.
Well, and like I said, aligning myself with a top mega agent here in the market center. He put me in front of people, introduced me to some other top agents, and then also, hey, I'm going to ride with you and I want to see it done. And you see it done multiple times, and it's the old copy paste, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how even I was saying even some of the best most highly renowned people in the world have coaches too. Like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these people, they have coaches where they, were more than likely doing something similar to, what you did there.
You hit it on the head, Jake. I have a coach. I've had him for 7 years, Craig Delahoy. He sits in the United Kingdom, and he's just been an amazing mentor to me. He helps me manage my team. I don't know if you're familiar with the DISC profile. So the DISC profile is a personality test that I make every one of my agents that come on board. It's not a pass or fail. It's more about how do I learn from you?
Yeah,
exactly. And so I was a high D, like 99% D, and D is like driven, entrepreneur. We don't take anything from anybody. We don't even care. You're just going to go out there and do it, right? I is influential, which is more social minded. S is more organized, structured. And then C is about numbers. Like you just want to, know how to count the numbers of, the sales or whatever, commissions. And
yeah.
For an agent joining my team, I like him to be an I and an S, right? I don't need him to be an entrepreneur. I don't need him to be driven, but I will help you as long as you have the motivation, right? You just got to be motivated. I need you to be structured. I need you to be organized, be willing to put it in your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. And I need you to be a people person. That's why these bartenders and servers that come in, I'll teach you the real estate. And eventually, like David and Blaine, who started with me in 2019, went on to start their own teams. But when they came in, they were high I's, they were low D's, and now they're leaders. And now on my team, they're actually mentors and leaders of my team. So it's possible when you join a team that maybe you don't have that skill set, that you'll learn from others around you that do or have. And that's kind of, what I'm really excited about our team is that I'm building leaders. And ultimately, I know that as they figure it out, which they will, they'll fly the coop. And I'll show them the door, and I'll be their best friend even after they leave, to the point where some will come back.
And I know that is. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out there, but I know it's pretty popular in the team model. Or not popular, I should say, but like it happens. We feel like we outgrow the team in a sense. We go and start our own team, start our own brokerage, whatever have you. How do you kind of deal with that? Not necessarily knowing every agent's going to leave, but knowing the model is kind of set up for them to grow and kind of take the reins over at their on their own at some point.
It's disheartening, right? I mean, you spend a lot of time building, motivating, promoting, encouraging, all of that. And then when they come to you and say, I've learned it all, I don't need any more help, when literally they still do, but you're not going to knock them. Yeah. You're going to say, look, the door's always going to be open. You're always going to be family. It's almost like losing a kid. When I lost David and Blaine, and they left me together, it was like, it really did. It was very disheartening and hurtful. Did I initially shut them off? Yeah. Because they were extremely producers on my team.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody leaves my team that's not producing, I mean, no offense, it's just going to be just a blip.
Yeah, no,
right. But the ones that are producing, I feel like I had maybe something to do with that. Ultimately, they have always come back and said to anybody they speak to that, everything, not just a little bit, but everything they have learned with their success has been from Brown Home Group. So I'm thrilled and honored to have them back. And that hopefully shows a little bit of what our culture provides, because they tried to do it on their own. Could they have done it on their own? 100%. But it was the culture. It was being surrounded by like-minded people every day. And like I said, it's like a family. So when they left, they were like my kids that took off, right? And I always make the joke, I'll leave your room the way it is one time. You can come back one time. So, but yeah, so I have a whole plethora of different type individuals on my team, and we don't discriminate. We don't, young, old. My oldest is 62, and he was my rookie of the year. Third year in, or no, fourth year in, and we've had a rookie of the year for the last 6 years. Well, 5. We're going to hit it again this year too. So I build rookies of the year, and that's top producing agents that have got their first year under their belt. So again, I'm proud of that because that's what we're building is leaders and producers.
Absolutely. And it goes a long way, like imagine how many agents that might've came into your market and got started with someone else and maybe not had, the best, training, not the best, mentorship, the different experience they could have had they, joined with you and your team, instead and had that mentorship, had that everything they needed from the beginning to, help them take off in the plane versus, kind of keeping them on the ground and not really giving them much to take off.
I do feel that, I mean, again, it's not a dirty word to say that we offer leads, right?
Yeah.
But as they say in Keller Williams, we teach you to fish. We don't hand you the fish, right? We want to, make sure you can fish after the leads are gone or it's dried up or it's slow, right? How are we going to go find that? But yes, most agents, when they join a team, it's because they want leads, right? And they don't have a database. We help you build a database. We help you figure out what is a database. A lot of people don't even know what one is, They don't realize they may have one sitting in their Facebook or sitting on their phone.
Yeah. All the social medias.
And the different types of lead generating that's out there. There are so many, but as being on a team, we do have the leads that we offer, but they're earned. They're not just given.
Yeah, and when that's why that expression, has made it through generations and generations. To teach a man to fish, and I forget the exact verbiage, but he'll be taken care of for a lifetime. And give a man a fish, he'll be good for the night. So that definitely goes a long way in real estate as well. I think I
couldn't remember it either. So.
Yeah, it's something. I was close.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't remember it, but yes. And I feel like, when people come in, when you join a team, obviously there are splits. And with those splits, it's like, okay, so I'm giving you 50%. What am I getting? And again, the one thing that I've prided myself on is if you join my team, I ask you, what are your goals? And then if you tell me I want to do 12 my first year, I'm going to give you 6, right? I'm going to try and give you 7 of those 12. So you just got to go out and find 4, right? I'm not about trying to reward you because obviously I want you to make more money, but in the turn, the team makes more money, Absolutely. Right? I want to make you productive. So if you say you want to do 12, then I'm going to try to help you get 24, right? Because I'm going to give you 12. You can get 12 on your own. You're going to have a good first year at 24.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, because what happens is people start doing their own deals. They start doing their own from the database, and I'm still taking 50%. They're like, well, I don't want to be on your team. I can do this on my own. I don't need you. So ultimately trying to make sure that agents understand with our marketing efforts that we provide, we call them team leads, but they come from everywhere, right? I mean, obviously the different internet sites that are out there, we're on them. Google, we're on it. Yeah. Zillow, we're a top Zillow agent, So when you come on a team, you don't have one review, and you've got hundreds of reviews and you join a team, guess what? You have hundreds of reviews. Yeah. You're a top Zillow agent as soon as you join my team, right? So there are a lot of benefits there that as a brand new agent, you go out on a call and you're like, I can't answer that question. Well, guess what? You've got almost 20 years of knowledge in this room. Not just me, but people in this market center that can help you. But ultimately, if you have a mentor on my team, you've got somebody in your back pocket.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you don't pay for them. I pay for them. So they get incentivized by me. I won't take a dime out of your pocket, but I'll give you somebody as a coach, as a mentor, as well as I mentioned, I have a coach that is a team coach as well. He's available to any one of my members of my team, primarily because he doesn't have a high D. He has a high I and an S. So he helps understand some of the things I don't see with my team. I don't understand sometimes why you're not hitting the phones and making 100 calls a day, right? Or having 50 conversations about real estate, and you're only doing one deal a month. What are you doing the rest of the time? I mean, that's just the way I think.
Yeah.
But that's maybe not the norm. It may be the norm. I don't know. I just know that I have to surround myself with people that think differently, because I sometimes don't see it. And I think that's what strengthens our team, is that I have agents on my team that have those skills. And so I can learn from them as well. I'm not about learning. I don't think in our business we ever stop learning.
Yeah, and that is, and I can speak from kind of the younger person's perspective. That's huge to have in a leader, as someone that not necessarily is gonna sway opinions and things like that from what you say, but just having someone that will actually listen to you and open to, hey, if this guy he might only have 1 year of experience, but if he's got a good idea, he's got a good method, I'll hear him out at least. I'll take it in and kind of sit with the information, do what have you.
Yeah, I do, not to
that
interrupt you there, Jake, but I feel like you have to be open to that. I mean, the young people today have a plethora of ways of lead generating.
Oh yeah.
Social media, we can't even begin to start with social media. And I was fortunate to bring on a social media manager, and she's taken me into another level when it comes to social media. I also give back to UCF, and we have a internship program. So I invite interns from UCF that are trying to get digital marketing majors, business majors, and I've had 9 interns come through my program, and gone on to do bigger and better things. And we have one starting in January next semester. And she's going to come out and she's going to do some social media. But you know what? She's like 22, 21, that's a mind that I don't have it. So that reach is going to be huge for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm in a similar boat. I'm 24.
23 on this team, and I'm learning from her.
Yeah.
And I have another one that's 24. And Blaine, who was my rookie of the year, second year in, he was 20 when he started with me as a social media. So, and now he's a beast in real estate. He's a beast on the phone, and he's the one that I lean on when I'm like, hey man, I need you to show so-and-so how you make these calls, how successful you are at lead generating. Because he's learned, he knows how to do it. He does the social media. And I do think that in real estate, that's become a major intricate part of our business.
Yeah, and I know, like, people my age, we don't even realize that we're marketing ourselves all the time. Like the picture you post on Instagram, the story you put out on Snapchat, whatever it is, you're constantly marketing yourself. Whether maybe not for real estate purposes, when we're in like a teenager, things like that. But we're constantly marketing ourselves and essentially building that, building our scope, we're building our sphere. Getting those friends, family, all those people, kind of to know who you are. It's the same deal with with doing it in real estate. And most people my age at least already have kind of a following started, so they get a jump or head start compared to most.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Well, to kind of close it off, what would you say is the future vision? Like 5 years down the road for you, where would you want to be yourself personally, your team, everything involved in?
So 5 years, huh? So I usually take 1 year at a time, but I would say expansion is something that I'm intrigued about. We just did it in Daytona, and last year we did it in Claremont, which is only like 45 minutes away. So possibilities of maybe expanding outside the state. My wife is from New York, upstate New York, and maybe venturing into up in the Binghamton area. It's a low price point from what I understand. But if I could sink my teeth into a solid agent at Keller Williams that is also struggling but needs, the support, the mentorship, and the coaching. I mean, this right here is something that you can do anywhere, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be in person, yes, but also now gives me a reason for her to go see her family. She can come with me and we can head over to the KW office in Binghamton. But yeah, so that would probably be something. I mean, for me this year, I want to grow my team by 10. So I'm looking to put 6 in Orlando, 2 in Daytona, and 2 in Claremont. That's a immediate goal. Don't know if I'll ever get out of the business in 5 years. I guess if I stop forgetting where I am and what I'm doing, maybe, but I don't think at that time. And my wife won't let it happen. So it's my New Year's resolution. That's why, I don't know, you can tell, but I'm standing at my desk. I have standing desks now. So my New Year's resolution, and I have a walking pad. I'm not doing it right now. I figured that it doesn't work real well when you're on these things. But yeah, so health is going to be important to me, nutrition, exercise, so that I can be doing this in 20 years. I mean, why not? I love it. And I still feel like I'm young. 10 years in the business is just getting started.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just helping people, serving, the community, giving back, the reach that we have at Brown Home Group is huge. And I think I'll be doing that 5 years from now. I hope Maria, my executive assistant, she's still with me 5 years from now, because I wouldn't be able to do it without her. She's like my work wife. And the rest of the team. Do I think these guys that I'm looking at are going to be with me? Who knows? But if they're not, I know we'll have other agents that see the value and the mission and what we offer 5 years from now. They say in Keller Williams that there's a 7th level. I don't know if you've heard that on the MREA, but
I haven't.
So there's 7 levels to a business, being a CEO. And the 7th is when you step out and you're no longer involved. You're just collecting checks. 6th level is you're still in the business, but you have listing specialists, you have buyer specialists, right? The 5th, you are the listing specialist, and then you have buyer specialists. I'm between 5 and 6. So I still list. I am still the, I guess, ideal listing specialist when we get new listings. But I'm also different in the sense that I let my agents, they can list their own. They're allowed to be listing agents as well as buyer agents. So they do both. But our new agents that come on board, they don't know how to list. So I will list with them. And so I like doing that. Could I just be coaching and mentoring agents? Yeah. If that 5 years from now, if that makes sense, and not turn the reins over, but maybe give, some responsibility, some leaders that are on my team. I mean, that's a possibility.
Awesome. Oh, hey, love to hear that. Well, and also let the people know where can they find you? Like social media, YouTube, anything like that that people.
Yeah, I love that. So if you're in Orlando or the Claremont area or the Daytona beaches, we are, like I said, recruiting. You can go to brownhomegroup.com, and there is a becoming a Gold Key team member that you can see the information about what we have to offer and what have you. Instagram at BHG_real estate. We'd love for you to follow us. Facebook is Brown Home Group, KWR, is our Facebook page. So yeah, I guess I have a TikTok now too.
Oh, really?
And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what it is. It's
so
Kim.
We'll figure it out. We'll link it down below so everyone can check it out. We'll link all the social medias and everything there. So you guys, if you're in Orlando, anywhere that Rick's expanding to as well, make sure to check him out. Obviously, you're gonna get taken care of with Rick and Brown Home Group as well.
Fantastic, Jay. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.